chose Galen because of its strong reputation.
Great scholarships.
I came because I can take all my classes online.
Because Galen University opens doors to the outside world.
Their course offering in tourism.
It gives me more opportunity to become who I want to be.
If you want to connect with your inner champion to make the world a better place, then Galen is right for you.
Think water. Think crystal water. For energy and health, you need to drink water throughout the day. Crystal water is the most consistent and best tasting water in Belize, trusted to refresh you and your family. Think water. Think crystal water. With 11 stages of purification to offer you the peace of mind you deserve, crystal water is the taste you can trust.
So did you know that Sagicor has a plan that can help to protect your income against the life-threatening illnesses that we face today and help you to access medical care? Please don't hesitate. Call me at cell phone number 614-1834 for more information on what's available.
I had a really good time tonight.
So did I.
Life moves fast. Be prepared with Sagicor. Learn more at sagicorlife.com.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Matters. This morning, our guest is the president of the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Nikita Usher. Mr. Usher, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Rhonda. How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
Wish I could be better given the circumstance, but we can't complain.
You know what? I'm sure when you signed up for this job, you had no idea that a day like this would come.
You know, that's a very true statement. And to be honest with you, my official term would have been over next week. And so if I had it planned, I would have probably said it should have come after next week. But nonetheless, they say they don't throw those stones at people that they can't handle them, right? So we're ready for it. Let's go.
Mr. President, well, since we're on the topic, tell me a little bit about how the chamber is made up. What is the percentage of businesses that are registered in Belize that are a part of the chamber?
Belize has a membership of, as a chamber, we have a membership of close to about 350 to 400 members. But bear in mind that some of our members are what you call associations. And so if you were to take those as individual members, the extension would be as broad as about 12 to 1,300 businesses.
Okay, and what percent does that represent?
I would not have that percent, but I would want to say that it represents a substantial block of commercial industrialized business. What we do not cover is the Chinese grouping, because they have their own association called the Chinese Business Association. And there's also an Indian Business Association which covers themselves. But other than that, we are spanned from north to south, primarily the industrial businesses, commercial, and as well as services. And that's an entity that is not named in the name of the chamber, but it does cover service entities as well, the BPOs, financial institutions, law firms, accounting, etc.
What is your role as president?
Well, I think we should start from what is the role of the chamber. The chamber's role is to champion the cause of employers. We work a lot with government in ensuring that we have an environment that is conducive for business to operate under. And I suppose that as president, my role is to try and chart that course as best as possible. Many times people seem to think that we're always opposite to the government, but it's not that we are. It's more so we work with the government to try and find ways to ensure that the environment in which we operate is one that all can operate in, that we are all treated fairly, that there's no one entity that has an advantage over the other, that we're paying our fair taxes, that rules and regulations are obeyed, and we will always try and do that as best as possible.
Well, now you have that responsibility, and I'm sure that you have to exercise it more than usual in these times because the businesses that you represent may have more needs and needs that are not usual. So we're going to get into that as we continue in this interview. But there is a COVID-19 oversight committee. Are you a part of that committee?
Yes, from the onset, from the establishment of the first move at COVID-19, the Prime Minister has expressed the interest of having social partners join with him, as well as the leader of the opposition. So they have a co-chair as the leader of the opposition and the Prime Minister, and supported by social partners. The Chamber does have representation on that committee, and I'll be honest with you, we are in conversation almost on a daily basis in terms of what moves the country will make so that we are all on the same page.
Good. So you answer one of the questions that I was going to ask you. Do you feel that your contributions are being valued?
Yes, it has. Yes, it has been. As a matter of fact, there's a meeting next week with the intention to try and extend the state of emergency, and which we were contacted on as well to try and have that discussion as well. So it's an ongoing discussion. We feel that the contribution that we are making are being heard and being addressed accordingly.
You said about extending the state of emergency. What is your take on that, considering that a lot of the, I believe, but you would know better, that a lot of the businesses are, they're very nervous with the present conditions, and especially not being able to open. I would imagine that they are concerned about about staying alive, about their sustainability.
Well, Rhonda, to be honest with you, there's twofold. I think as a nation, we have to be very responsible, and one has to take the economic side of the business. We can't move away from the health side of our nation. If we are to be selfish about opening up business, then we could not sooner or later have clientele as well, because we'll have a nation that will be passing away in the same way they're doing in the US. I don't think that we want that for Belize. And I think the way we've handled it is quite responsibly. And I do support the extension. However, bear in mind that the extension will come with some laxing. It will not be the type of state of emergency that is going to be keeping all the businesses closed. There are discussions on the table right now to see how we can phase in some of the opening, and some of those discussions continue as we speak. So I don't know that it will be the normal state of emergency as we've seen in the first 30 days. It can be some laxing on that, and that's the type of discussion we're having as we speak. Certainly one area that we have to always bear in mind, we must not lose sight of what we call social distancing. And so one of an area of serious concern for us is the public transportation sector. How do we address that? How do we travel across the nation freely, if that is going to be allowed? And if we do so, will we ensure that we have people with masks, with gloves, with all the necessary precautionary measures that we have to put in place?
Excellent. And I would imagine that that is a concern for everybody, the business and the workers and everybody alike. But because the businesses are in this position, the government is also finds itself in an unusual position as well. But is the government extending any support to the businesses to try and help them to survive this time? Besides the moratorium that the banks have been offering, is there anything else that is being given or lobbied for?
Well, I think first we start, again, I say responsibly so. We started off with ensuring that the unemployed is taken care of. I think that was first and foremost. It was important that we have our people fed and making sure that they have a life that is ahead of us. The business comes after. The chamber has been working behind the scenes trying to put together stimuluses that can probably be submitted to government through the National Oversight Committee for us to try and look at how do you address, in the same way we address unemployed, we can now look at how do we address businesses, especially the small and medium-sized ones that will have a struggle to try and rebound. Alongside that, we also have the chamber working behind the scenes again, and we should be finalizing that by early next week. What we refer to as the recovery that is required. And I don't like to use the word recovery, but nonetheless, I'll say it, we tend to use it sometimes as the rebound. The recovery seems to feel as though we've been dead, and I don't want to think that we're dead. So we're using the word rebound in that what do you need to do as businesses individually? How can we help you to come back on stream? Is it going to be mass advertising? How do we get our people back with money? Because business needs, the people need buying power for us to have our business continue to operate. And so that starts the program. Hit hard is going to be the tourism sector. What do we do with that sector? Not to say that it's going to go away, but how do we find places for those people that we can ensure that they have a buying power that the business, other businesses can continue to operate. So that's the behind the scenes that the chamber is doing as we speak. We should have that prepared by next week. And then that will also involve a number of other initiatives that can roll government into the picture. For example, can we look at relaxation of, again, I say this responsibly, and I'm not saying that this is going to be final, but we cannot always think, because businesses tend to think that it's always going to be no tax for a period of time. But also remember that government also need money to continue to keep the services available. So do we look at relaxing some of the taxes? Is there a moratorium for a period of time that there is none? Or do we look at half portion of it that you get some and we try and get some as well? A number of initiatives are being tried around.
Okay, you touched a little bit about on tourism, and because the tourism industry is in the state that it is in, a lot of other things are suffering, like the agriculture industry, the poultry production and that kind of stuff. They find themselves with more than the people can use because they've been preparing for more people. Is there a way, or is the chamber looking to find new markets, maybe in the Caribbean or somewhere else, that these things can be put to use and by the same time allow some income to come in?
You know, Rhonda, I've heard that discussion a number of times, and I want all of us to understand that finding a new market is not an overnight discussion. A lot of it comes with certification program. Companies like ours, the way I work, it took us 2-3 years before we could have had certification that is acceptable worldwide for you to be able to export into other regions. And I'm not saying that to try and belittle any business, but I want us to understand and appreciate that, yes, the discussion has to be that we have to open up the market. And I'll take it twofold. We have to start on a massive campaign to call a Buy Belize, Build Belize. Our agricultural product must be looked at first and foremost before we start to think about importation. That has to be a first call. We might not even have foreign exchange for us to be importing any goods from overseas. So we might as well get used to the fact that for a long time to come, or for at least another 6 to 8 months, we will have to be using Belizean product. That has to be a massive campaign across all sectors. Government has to put that initiative in place. The fact that we have the borders closed is sufficient enough to know that then we'll have to use what we have in country. And we have sufficient, I've always maintained and I've always believed in the fact that we are self-sustainable when it comes to food. I don't think that we have any issues there. So I think that that should take away some of itself. Now we do know, regrettably so, we're only a population of 300,000 or 400,000 people. We can't eat all of what we have. And so we must now find places, especially on the downturn of tourism, we must now find places where we can get those products out. One of the closest one that could probably be looked at is poultry. I do know that they have been doing a lot of work trying to get that out of country. CARICOM certainly screams for these products. So I think quoted meeting goes on either today or next week. It's time for us to start to have that discussion as an emergency call, given the circumstances ahead of us, to try and look at how do we get some of these products into CARICOM ASAP. And I think that's the type of discussion that has to start to happen as we speak.
Excellent. We're going to take a break and be back.
Did you know that it's best to keep the lumber stored in a dry place?
At KT Enterprises, all our wood is stored in an enclosed space to provide our clients with the highest quality.
We allow you to personally select your lumber if you choose, and we deliver countrywide.
Be it deck board, beams, and imported hardwoods such as red oak and white ash. At KT Enterprises, we provide you with the highest grade in treated pine, construction grade plywood, and imported hardwood, delivered to your door.
We continue to build Belize by reforesting its pine forest. Visit us today at 2.3 miles Iguana Creek Road, or give us a call at 671-0114 or 672-0114.
New Buildings Limited is the company of choice when it comes to design, fabricating and erection of wide-span metal buildings in Belize. At New Buildings, we have a team of well-trained professionals that can produce the most innovative and durable metal structures. Be it domestic or industrial buildings, we can get it done for you. We have put together some of the most outstanding metal structures in the country. We also do estimates and consulting. Visit New Buildings in Spanish Lookout or give them a call at 631-8723 or 610-5185. New Buildings Limited, the experts when it comes to metal structures in Belize.
I chose Galen because of its strong reputation.
Great scholarships.
I came because I can take all my classes online.
Because Galen University opens doors to the outside world.
Their course offering in tourism.
It gives you more opportunity to become who I want to be.
If you want to connect with your inner champion to make the world a better place, then Galen is right for you.
I choose Happy Cow cheese because of its perfect portion sizes, and I can travel with it.
Because it's nice and soft and creamy, and it goes smooth on your bread.
I choose Happy Cow cheese because I eat it with my beans. I eat it with my fried jack. And you know why? Because it's nice.
Most of all, when you're on the plane, you know they only give you some crackers, and you could just take one out and enjoy it with Happy Cow cheese.
I'm Miss Baker, and I choose Happy Cow cheese because it goes well with all the stuff I bake.
Happy Cow cheese. Look for it in a store near you. Distributed in Belize exclusively by Emilio Ahmad and Sons Limited.
Hey, I bring your favorite for your lunch. I'll share me.
Alright, thanks, but I'm really hungry right now.
You look frustrated. What going on?
I don't know, they're far and I got a lot of bills to pay right now.
I might have a solution that can help you out.
Well, you must have got direct line to Jesus then, because this one, yeah, miracle.
Not quite, but I know First Stop Speedy Money.
Well, please tell me about that.
First Stop Speedy Money is a pawn shop that is designed to help you on days just like this.
Really?
Yes, you know they pawn gold jewelry, bracelet, earring, they even do pawn and drive. This means you have full use of your vehicle and still get money.
Sure, you make it so easy?
It is easy.
Hey, yo.
Let's go check it out right now.
Visit First Stop Speedy Money at Capital Garden Plaza on Constitution Drive in Belmopan or at 10 King Street in Belize City.
Me and my Marie shops in Lake.
Me and my Marie Sharp in Indiana.
I'm in Rhonda Beach, California with my Marie Sharp.
Me and my Marie shops in Kabul, Afghanistan.
Me and my Marie shop that are Hertfordshire, England.
Me and my Marie shops in Taipei, Taiwan.
Marie Sharp, world-class products produced in Belize.
I had a really good time tonight.
So did I.
Life moves fast. Be prepared with Sagicor. Learn more at sagicorlife.com.
So nice, Caribbean pride. Need you in my life. Caribbean pride. So nice, 100% Belizean, 100% pure and natural. Yeah, for the young and the old, for the rich and the poor, we drinking Caribbean pride. Yeah, for the hot and the cold, so me want a little more, and me not tell no lie. So nice, Caribbean pride. Need you in my life. Caribbean pride. So nice. Well, alright, tell them we drinking Caribbean pride. Orange juice or get the grapefruit. Sweet and unsweet, and you can choose. Get the apple, the pineapple, the fruit punch, just pop the bottle. Yeah, quality in every sip. Me tell you how me taste the pride in every drip. Yeah, Caribbean pride #1. Tell them we drinking Caribbean pride.
Back to Morning Matters. Nikita Usher in with us this morning. Mr. Usher, welcome back.
Thank you.
Before we went to break, you said many things, but one of the things that you said that I'd like to come back with is the Buy in Belize campaign. I think that this is crucial, and I think a lot of times when people think, oh, I'll buy in Belize, I will only buy rice, beans, flour, sugar, oh, that's enough. This time the people have to buy everything. So the toilet paper that you're accustomed to buying from wherever else, let it be a brand that is made or manufactured here. Right now, we notice that the government is giving away pantry, but they're also giving away cash. Do you think that perhaps the government can start the initiative by ensuring that everything that is in the pantry, as much as possible, is made in Belize?
Well, that's a good initiative, and I'm certain that for the most part, as far as I'm aware, there's been quite a bit of that. The challenge that we always have to remember, though, that when you take canned food stuff, it's not every one of us that has a refrigerator that can store some of the made in Belize product. Vegetables, you know, are perishables, and so refrigerators has to be available. That is not to say that we're not promoting it, but I do think that if we can make a strong position that we take a percentage of what that product is and say that it must be a made in Belize product, that's a very good start. I can't say that it will be 100% of it made in Belize, because I do understand the challenges that some will face. And so if we can take the percentage to say 75% of that product that is inside that package has to be a made in Belize product, that's a good start. And I think that is where all of us, wherever we can do it, whether it's on your Facebook page, whether it's hashtag, whether it's every possible way that we can sing that song that we're by Belize is what's going to build back Belize.
I think one of the other things that we can focus on is the vacation in Belize, because I think that people feel that their vacation needs to be somewhere else. Hopefully this time will let the people realize that we need to fully appreciate what we have. Is there something that is being done in that respect?
Well, when I speak of made in Belize, by Belize, build Belize, I'm speaking of also the services inclusive. I think we have a meeting scheduled, I believe, later in the month. Well, I believe it's probably next week. I remember also sitting on my board at the chamber is also the president of the Hotel Association, which is Mr. Ted Tejada. And we are updated on a regular basis, actually on a weekly basis, in terms of where we are with hotels, etc., with the BTIA, with tourism on a whole. And certainly I know that what we're trying to do as soon as the lifting of the curfew / state of emergency comes in, the hotel side of it will have to start to now move towards campaigning Belize as well. That has to be, again, just like what I said, made in Belize, build Belize, that initiative has to also be the same. Now, remember that also comes with buying power, and we have to be able to, I know quite a bit of our families have spent substantial money in preparation for COVID, as we don't know where COVID would have been and how long it would be. So yes, you'll need some time to de-stress, if you want to call it that, then let's do it in Belize.
No, I think for a while the people will have no option but to do it in Belize. We're hoping that the hoteliers will adjust the rates a little bit so that everybody can get a feel of it and start to like it. And the next thing you know, they will all be here.
Very good point, Rhonda. Also remember that we have the borders closed, so you can't really go anywhere.
Exactly. I mean, while we are left without option, I'm hoping that the hoteliers will give us a pleasurable time. We're not ask for it for free, but I think instead of making it what it was, we can make it something that's more acceptable and accessible, because I think a lot of times the people don't explore these options because they don't know what is there and they feel that it is not for them. So hopefully the hoteliers will take this opportunity to expose what they have, and when the time is better, they can then maybe adjust the price back. But once the people are exposed to it, they will stay with it, I believe.
No, that's a very good point. And what we don't want to encourage, and I'm hoping that we don't go that direction, is to start to lower rates in anticipation of attracting more. What you end up doing when you do that is to say that your product is now become, maybe it was overpriced in the first instance. I think we should at least try and make sure that Belizean rates be competitive, be reasonably enough that we can attract the Belizeans, and you can have your own market in Belize even when the tourism season comes back.
No, I fully support that. Speaking of the tourism industry, I think that we depend, I know we depend a whole lot on tourism. Do you think, but tourism is not what it was before. Do you think that perhaps this would be a time for us to diversify, to find other things that can definitely strengthen our economy, maybe tech, maybe whatever it is, maybe, because I think that the same level of investment that went into making tourism what it is today, if it is to be spread out amongst other things, we can be a nation that can better sustain ourselves in the future if something was to come.
Rhonda, you have touched a topic that if you get me started on this one, you'll get me turned upside down and I will irk a little bit more than what I am. So I will try to be as positive on this one as possible. I work in an industry setting. I'm a firm believer that we should have invested more in agro-processing, in making products out of Belize that is exportable. I felt that it would have required far less input in the first instance than what we have invested in other sectors, namely, if you want to call it tourism, though it has not been government investment, it has been a number of individuals' investment. But I'm certain that if we had gone the direction of looking at agro-processing, manufacturing, we would have been in a lot better shoe. I think we have put close to about 50 or 60% of our GDP is coming out of tourism. Now it's the industry that will have to bail us. And so I think focus has to know, and certainly I think that has to be one of the chamber's strong points, that we have to know, we focus, we tool, we look at where we can now look very easily at agro-processing, more of Belize's product for the outside market. We have an opportunity next door to us. CARICOM is right next door to us, and I think we should not lose sight of that at all.
Well, because I don't want you to drag too much on it, I know that you are into that scope of work, so you're most passionate in that area. But I also think technology. I think that this is a time when people need technology more than ever. And I don't think that our nation is less capable of producing things when it comes to that. So I think that also this is something that should be looked at, because I think that, and I say the young people, the people can use that word as loosely as they want or as tight as they want. But I think the young people are into it naturally. So I think if you can put a little investment behind them, you might get the next best thing coming out of the leaves.
That's a very good point. Actually, we have seen quite a bit of innovative businesses approach taken over the last 1 or 2 years. We've seen a new one, services coming on board, but I certainly agree with you. We have that knock for it. It's just a mind to have some capital behind it, and we certainly can have some new line of technological advancements in Belize. I agree with you.
Excellent. One of the things that's happening though is that you know that there is the informal trade of cattle. It's been going on for a while. We're not, I mean, I am not the minister and you are not the minister. We're just two people having the discussion, and you happen to be in a position where I am sure that some of your members are affected by them imposing that while it is almost like it is a formal informal trade that they had, and now it is being stopped. First, let me ask, what is the response from your members that are affected to you?
You use the words that is perhaps used a lot, a formal, informal trade. Or maybe the informal comes before the formal, whichever way you want to put it. Yes, Rhonda, we have quite a bit of membership, and yes, we do have members who are affected deeply by this issue. Earlier this week, we sent off a letter to the National Oversight Committee advising of where our position is. As a chamber, we have always maintained, strike on to government, that we need to seriously consider all trades through the formal marketplace. And the formal marketplace is through the Benkevejo border point. We have written to this on numerous occasions. For 20 years or more, it has occurred and continued to occur. And now we have a point now where it's now being affected heavily. It's to the tune of anywhere between $2.2 million to $2.5 million per month that is passing over the border with cattle and pigs, livestock. Our position, we have written this time around to say that while we're not a supporter of informal trade, given the heightened position of COVID-19, Government should take every effort to find ways to make sure that this trade continues to occur. I didn't say how, but continue to occur in light of where that funding, the loss of those funds are. Bear in mind the impact of that, of course, that you have the impact on the government side in that there's taxes lost. You have the issue of foreign exchange because it's a trade that is cross-border and therefore should have US currency payments. And then, of course, you have the village now starting to make the complaints. You heard the Minister of Agriculture saying that they have spoken to the agricultural side and on the other side of the border, Guatemala that is, and now they want to pursue it via the formal route. I really don't know what is the issue, why it's on the other side, why it's creating any stumbling block. I don't know that the government, I believe, has created any stumbling block for it to be formal. It's more on the buyer side in terms of why they prefer to go that route. I will see what will happen. We will have to wait and see what will happen over the course of this week, but certainly seems as if though we have not moved any way forward with that. Now that puts us in a precarious position in that now we have cattle. I believe consumer base is only taking about 30% of the total production, and so we now have to find a marketplace for that cattle. As I said earlier in my previous discussion, marketplace is not something that is developed overnight. There's phytosanitary issues that has to be dealt with, especially on cattle, and therefore it's not as easy to say I will ship it across to Mexico or to Jamaica or to anybody else, because you have to clear all those serious concerns that other nations will have. But certainly I would want to believe that their ministry is trying their best to try and look at where else you can go to.
And I have to ask, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, but for 20 years, more or less is what you said, this has been happening. So somebody has been turning a blind eye. Somebody has been just letting it slide. The people may say, why no? Why no when we need it the most?
Well, flip your coin on the other side. COVID is also in the other side of the world, which is called Guatemala. They need, I would want to think, like us, we would want to collect, if I was in the government, I would want to collect every single tax I can collect now. I'm certain that on the other side of the border, they would want the same. Could it not also be that from the other side, there's pressures coming that they want it to be formalized as well? I don't know, but I'm asking the question that that could very well be why pressures are coming both ways. But one has to always believe that at some point, when you're doing things informally, it will come to a test where it has to become formal. And it seems as if though, I don't know if the other side have done it. It seems as if though that seems to be the point where we're at now. Alternatively, we must find somewhere else for cattle to leave to.
By any chance, is the Chamber of Commerce in Belize lobbying with the Chamber of Commerce in Guatemala to see if the solution can be found?
To be honest on this topic, no. We have had correspondences before, but not on this specific topic. For some unknown reason, it appears that people are operating from home and they don't take calls now. So, but that has been the most recent. But we have not taken up any cattle issue with the Chamber of Commerce on the other side.
Right.
Also remember that the Chamber of Commerce primarily deals with businesses who, especially in Guatemala side, normally manufacturing, larger businesses. These are cattle ranchers who may not be a part of the association, and association tend to defend the membership. I'm not trying to find a reason for it, but I'm only making sure that we clear that as well. But to be honest, we have not taken that approach as yet, no.
And perhaps you wouldn't have to if something is done between now and next week as well.
That's correct, that's correct.
Excellent, we're gonna take a break and be back.
Think water. Think crystal water. For energy and health, you need to drink water throughout the day. Crystal water is the most consistent and best tasting water in Belize, trusted to refresh you and your family. Think water. Think crystal water. With 11 stages of purification to offer you the peace of mind you deserve, crystal water is the taste you can trust.
Did you know that it's best to keep the lumber stored in a dry place?
At KT Enterprises, all our wood is stored in an enclosed space to provide our clients with the highest quality.
We allow you to personally select your lumber if you choose, and we deliver countrywide.
Be it deckboard, beams, and imported hardwoods such as red oak and white ash. At KT Enterprises, we provide you with the highest grade in treated pine, construction grade plywood, and imported hardwood. delivered to your door.
We continue to build Belize by reforesting its pine forest. Visit us today at 2.3 miles Iguana Creek Road or give us a call at 671-0114 or 672-0114.
New Buildings Limited is the company of choice when it comes to design, fabricating, and erection of wide-span metal buildings in Belize. At New Buildings, we have a team of well-trained professionals that can produce the most innovative and durable metal structures. Be it domestic or industrial buildings, we can get it done for you. We have put together some of the most outstanding metal structures in the country. We also do estimates and consulting. Visit New Buildings in Spanish Lookout or give them a call at 631-8723 or 610-5185. New Buildings Limited, the experts when it comes to metal structures in Belize.
I chose Galen because of its strong reputation. Great scholarships.
I came because I can take all my classes online.
Because Galen University opens doors to the outside world.
Their course offering in tourism.
It gives me more opportunity to become who I want to be.
If you want to connect with your inner champion to make the world a better place, then Galen is right for you.
I choose Happy Cow cheese because of its perfect portion sizes, and I can travel with it.
Because it's nice and soft and creamy, and it goes smooth on your bread.
I choose Happy Cow cheese because I eat it with my beans. I eat it with my fried jack. And you know why? Because it's nice.
Most of all, when you're on plane, you know they only give you some crackers and you could just take one out and enjoy it with Happy Cow cheese.
I'm Miss Baker, and I choose Happy Cow cheese because it goes well with all the stuff I bake.
Happy Cow cheese. Look for it in a store near you. Distributed in Belize exclusively by Emilio Ahmad and Sons Limited.
Hey, I bring your favorite for your lunch. I'll share me.
Alright, thanks, but I'm really hungry right now.
You look frustrated. What going on?
I don't be there far and I got a lot of bills to pay right now.
I might have a solution that can help you out.
Well, you must have got direct line to Jesus then, because this one, yeah, miracle.
Not quite, but I know First Stop Speedy Money.
Well, please tell me about that.
First Stop Speedy Money is a pawn shop that is designed to help you on days just like this.
Really?
Yes, you know they pawn gold jewelry, bracelet, earring, they even do pawn and drive. This means you have full use of your vehicle and still get money.
Joe, you make it so easy?
It is easy.
Hey, yo.
Let's go check it out right now.
Visit First Stop Speedy Money at Capital Garden Plaza on Constitution Drive in Belmopan or at 10 King Street in Belize City.
Me and my Marie shops in Lake.
Me and my Marie Sharp in Indiana.
I'm in Rhonda Beach, California with my Marie Sharp.
Me and my Marie shops in Kabul, Afghanistan.
Me and my Marie shop at Hertfordshire, England.
Me and my Marie Sharps in Taipei, Taiwan.
Marie Sharp, world-class products produced in Belize.
I had a really good time tonight.
So did I.
Life moves fast. Be prepared with Sagicor. Learn more at sagicorlife.com.
Welcome back to the third and final segment of Morning Matters. The president of the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry in with us this morning, Nikita Usher. Mr. Usher, again, welcome back.
Thank you.
I want to start off this segment with a question that I probably should have asked you in one of the other segments. But is there a way, or is the Chamber in conversation with the government to perhaps are they lobbying the government for loans at concessionary rates, maybe the equivalent of 5 or 6 months of of their sales, and then they can pay it back in the future, maybe over the next 5, 6, or 5, 10 years. This way that the businesses will be able to maintain their employees and their business. Is there anything being done like that?
Rhonda, that's a part of the whole rebounding that I spoke about. There are several initiatives on the table. One of them is concessionary loans. We're looking at that option. We're trying to see how best we can make it. You see, making it available is one thing. It's whether or not the clientele will have the supporting documentation to take the loans up to finality. Quite often we find that small businesses don't have audited financials. They don't have a number of issues that makes a loan possible. So it's how do we make it accessible, not only the rate, but also accessible for the smaller businesses to access it as well. Secondly, there are several other initiatives that we're looking at. Some of them would be where we're looking at, I'll give you an example, poultry, where government could have taken up some of that slack of additional stocks. And do bear in mind that government will not have the money right now to pay for it. But an initiative that we were probably trying to look at was to see if that would take off their stocks one way, and two, you can put it in your pantry, in the food pantry that you're doing, but government could pay it in the form of coupons or credits on their taxes on months to come ahead. So these are the type of initiatives that we're looking at. We're looking at grains, rice, beans, corn, all the way through. Again, and a similar option. The only challenge that we have there though is bear in mind that the farmer went through a drought last year and lost a lot of their crop. So they might have they don't have taxes that they pay because they don't have GST, etc. So it's not as easy to say that you're going to offer them a tax credit because they would not have that. They would need cash upfront to have the planting starting as early as now, because the planting for them has time bound. If you miss the planting season, then you can't really get them planted. So all of these are being worked at. That is why the chamber is made out of cross-sectional grouping, service, commerce, industry, including agriculture.
One more question where that is concerned. We owe quite a few countries, but we have a lot of food that we're not using, that we can't use. Let's say for Venezuela, for instance. Is there a way that maybe we could have traded with them, where we could have provided some of the things that they needed and they kind of take it off the money that we owe? I don't know.
You're thinking like business people now. You know, when we were dealing with the Petro-Carib funding, one of the suggestions that the chamber had made was instead of paying back in cash, was to pay back in food supplies. And I'm aware that that there was the Venezuelan embassy who had come to believe, well, who is here, but they had sent down a person to go around at all the different entities who would have probably supplied food for them. And then what would have happened is that you would have been paid in Belize. So the government has the money set aside in central bank, but they would have had to pay the entities in Belize. The challenge that you have was that immediately after that, the US put further sanctions onto Venezuela, and therefore countries who trade with Venezuela now could be in a problem of being blacklisted by the US. So that became its own set of challenges as well.
You know, that's quite unfortunate, because that would have been an easy way to pay back some of the bills.
Indeed, it would have been. Indeed, it would have been.
Well, guess what? We don't know what will happen next. But now let's talk about you. You are the man that has you have quite a lot on your plate. Not only are you the president of the chamber, you are also the managing director of your own business. You're a parent, you're a husband, you are an individual, you know, and you too are facing COVID. So let's start with, how are you managing during this time?
You start off the discussion saying it's perhaps, if you had your wish, you would perhaps not have wanted to be the president around this time. And I would not want to agree with that, but certainly I said to you earlier that the 30th, the COVID should have come one week later, no? Nonetheless, yes, I do have the chamber on my hand. I'm serving the chamber for 8 years, 4 years as president out of 8. My term comes to a close officially on the 30th of April. Unfortunately, because of COVID, the constitution of the chamber does not allow for an election to be held virtual. And therefore, we have had to send out to our membership that the term of this presidency and his officers will have to be extended until further notice. That's the only provision that the Constitution makes for us to do, and we have had to do that. So I really don't know at what point my term will close. It should be the 30th, but we'll extend until COVID allows us to have another election. It has been a rough 4 years. It has been a tough one. Running a chamber plus running a business has also its sets of challenges. Though it has some benefits because the business that I run works hand in hand with what chamber is doing, so it works hand in hand. When COVID came upon us, the challenge that I then was faced with was to manage a staff of close to 350 full-time staff on my business, and the panic that then comes along with that. While we don't have COVID in the area we work, we do have people traversing the area, visiting our facility, and so we've had to put in our own precautionary measures on the ground. One, for example, we had to stop visitors from visiting our facilities. We had to put in cleaning supplies at the early stages of the entrance to the compound. People were vetted. Any employees with symptoms had to go home. And then, of course, you have to manage the psychological side of it, where employees are panicking if somebody is coughing in the hallway. All employees get panicky, worried, wanting to go home to work from home. So those have been a whole set of challenge. At home, I have my own family, so I have to be worried about that side of the equation as well. When I get home, I have to make sure I strip from the door so that we don't have anything that is carried internally. And I have a standard 5 daughter getting ready for PSC for next year, who I have had to send out to the Keys so that she's not on mainland and have any problems with anybody. So I have to be managing her all the way from the Keys. So she's sitting in a home out of the Keys, the islands, and just relaxing her time out there. But enjoyable, rough, but getting along.
What has this time done for you mentally?
Earl, I'll be frank with you. I think I have had to learn how to. Well, the presidency starts the whole program. With the presidency came a new leadership style, a style that you now have to be accommodating to as many as you can. Listen to the concerns. You'll be surprised that some of the concerns that you thought was rough. People are having it even worse than you do. And so you have to really be accommodating to that. I sincerely believe that I've done my very best with my membership. As a matter of fact, I've had several calls asking for me to stay another term, but under the Constitution, that's not possible. So I got to leave. But mentally, it's been rough. I only probably get about 5 hours sleep in a day because I do my chamber business most of the time in the afternoon and in the night time. And then I do my job during the day, mostly in the morning. But a very rough time, but I wouldn't complain personally. I think it's just for us to move on. It's just that something that's in front of us that we just got to move ahead.
You got to deal with it as it arises.
That's correct.
Well, since you stay on the chamber job, let me ask you one more chamber question. Is there anything that the chamber is or can do for the people that have been displaced where their jobs are concerned during this time?
You know, even at the chamber, we have had to make a hard decision only last week to try and look at reduction in pay. Because even as a business, the chamber also suffers as well. When a member of yours cannot pay their membership dues, or when we can't have the activities that generate income for the chamber available to us, like training, like rentals and all the rest of that available, then the income of the chamber also feels the pain. Last week, I had to make the hardest decision of my lifetime to have to ask my dedicated staff to accept a pay cut. I've not had to do it yet at my workplace because we were one of those who continued to operate. And fortunately, up until now, we have not had to do that. That does not mean that we'll have to do it down the road. But so far, that has been it. The chamber, though, we're looking at members. Actually, I've been asked to do some one-on-one discussion with members to see what they're faced with. to give some sort of motivation to them, and I've started to do that on Monday. I will start. So Monday we'll start to do a one-on-one with my membership to see if I can get some better feedback and let them feel a little bit more assured that we're looking after the interest of the best as we can.
One of the biggest things that the people see is the expo. That is one of the production from the.
That's a very good point.
Can you tell if we have that to look forward to this year?
No, you put me on the spot.
I mean, you're president still.
We not hopefully not until September.
That might be.
Rhonda, we have had that discussion already, actually, and that indeed is one of our biggest showdown. We've discussed that, and we've tentatively move it tentatively that if it has to be moved, we'll move it down to November. We are anticipating what's going to come out of COVID beyond June. If it goes beyond June, we will then have to move our position down to November. That's the tentative time that we're looking at.
I think the people will be happy to know that it will come, or there's a great possibility regardless of when, but they will be able to see it.
I agree with you. I agree with you. That has been the cry of our membership, that please don't cancel it. It needs to be done. They love it and they want it to continue. We have actually grown it actually. So.
Yes, I noticed last year you really add some luster to it. I like how you separate it and everything has its
yes.
and nice if I don't want, you know, and everything has its space and place. I like that. Now we're winding down. Before we go, anything you'd like to say, maybe to a young business person out there that's really, really struggling in this time?
I would want to say to any business person, don't throw in the towel. It's not the time as yet. I honestly and sincerely believe that we will have a rebound. The chamber is going to reach out to you. The chamber is doing its best right now to try and look at what stimuluses we can offer in conjunction with government. But certainly spend the time to, as best as possible, advertise your Belize product. We are going to be campaigning very diligently to try and have Belizeans buy Belize, whether it's service or goods. And so there might still be a rebound that can happen. I don't think that there will be a rebound that will happen for us. And so I think that Belizeans are resilient and we should be maintain that resilience as much as possible.
For somebody that's interested in being a part of the chamber, how can they do so?
They can contact our secretariat or our CEO directly, CEO@belize.org, and that should be a direct contact to them. It's a wonderful organization. It's one I would love to have people wanting to serve as well, including you, Rhonda.
Now there I have something to think about. You know, I might just take up that, especially since you're talking about this Buy in Belize campaign. Because
oh yes.
As something that that we can lead in. We're seen in so many other Caribbean countries that I think that we're in a good position to try and exemplify what it is to use what we have, because we have so much to use. So definitely.
Rhonda, you know, just before we close, what I should say is that what I have done since being at the Chamber's president, I have actually moved Belizean product into CARICOM, because a lot of the time what happens with the products into CARICOM is that a CARICOM country cannot accept an entire container load of your product. And there's no shipping line that is doing here what you call break bulk into CARICOM. So what we have done is to piggyback some of what the product from the company I work for, along with other members from the chamber. So we have sent juice and toilet paper, juice and coconut oil, and a number of other stuff that goes into CARICOM. And that has been an ongoing for the last 2 years. And now what ends up happening, when a customer would have bought a container load of toilet paper, that would have been, as an example, that would have been for an entire year. Because now you're doing a portion of the container with another product. At times we do 3 products inside one container. The customer is buying as much as 3 or 4 containers per year. So you're moving more and more as we speak. So that has been a brand new initiative that we have worked with since over the last 2 years, and it has worked quite well.
What is, before we go, I know it looks like you have somewhere to go, but what are
Somebody's outside with me, so that's why. Go ahead though.
What are some of the products and which countries can they be found in? For the people that are looking, they might just go on their shelves today and say, hey, I'm gonna get myself this juice.
Well, the renowned product inside CARICOM out of Belize right now is what you call Caribbean Pride. It's the Caribbean Pride juices that is going on the shelves right now It's in Barbados, it's in St. Lucia, it's in Guyana, it's in Dominica, and St. Vincent. So that's the number one. You have the soft Italy paper, you have Glorious Belize, coconut oil, and the list goes on. So it's quite a bit of product that is moving into CARICOM out of Belize.
When my parents go shopping later, I'll tell them they live in St. Vincent. I'll tell them to make sure they pick up the Caribbean pride and send a picture.
Excellent. Excellent.
Nikita, I say thank you for stopping and sharing with us this morning. We look forward to more conversations like these as the time go by.
Not a problem, and thank you very much for the invite.
Have a wonderful day.
Think water. Think crystal water. For energy and health, you need to drink water throughout the day. Crystal water is the most consistent and best tasting water in Belize, trusted to refresh you and your family. Think water. Think crystal water. With 11 stages of purification to offer you the peace of mind you deserve, crystal water is the taste you can trust.
New Buildings Limited is the company of choice when it comes to design, fabricating, and erection of wide-span metal buildings in Belize. At New Buildings, we have a team of well-trained professionals that can produce the most innovative and durable metal structures. Be it domestic or industrial buildings, we can get it done for you. We have put together some of the most outstanding metal structures in the country. We also do estimates and consulting. Visit New Buildings in Spanish Lookout or give them a call at 631-8723 or 610-5185. New Buildings Limited, the experts when it comes to metal structures in Belize.
I chose Galen because of its strong reputation. Great scholarships.
I came because I can take all my classes online.
Because Galen University opens doors to the outside world.
Their course offering in tourism.
It gives me more opportunity to become who I want to be.
If you want to connect with your inner champion to make the world a better place, then Galen is right for you.
I choose Happy Cow cheese because of its perfect portion sizes, and I can travel with it.
Because it's nice and soft and creamy, and it goes smooth on your bread.
I choose Happy Cow cheese because I eat it with my beans. I eat it with my fried jack. And you know why? Because it's nice.
Most of all, when you're on the plane, you know they only give you some crackers, and you could just take one out and enjoy it with Happy Cow cheese.
I'm Miss Baker, and I choose Happy Cow cheese because it goes well with all the stuff I bake.
Happy Cow cheese. Look for it in a store near you. Distributed in Belize exclusively by Emilio Ahmad and Sons Limited.
Me and my Marie shops in Lake.
Me and my Marie Sharp in Indiana.
I'm in Rhonda Beach, California with my Marie Sharp.
Me and my Marie shops in Kabul, Afghanistan.
Me and my Marie shop that are Hertfordshire, England.
Me and my Marie Sharps in Taipei, Taiwan.
Marie Sharp, world-class products produced in Belize.
I had a really good time tonight.
So did I.
Life moves fast. Be prepared with Sagicor. Learn more at sagicorlife.com.
Gonna be my wife and I was gonna be her.